have thought all those years ago we'd be gathered not halfway around the world, but complete opposite side of the world from where we come from, to share this very special occasion. Perhaps just to start with, I just want to pay tribute to and thank you and all the staff of Lion and Tusk for all they do in traditional services, all they do to keep us connected. We honour you and we thank you for that. Last year, most of the nation stood at the end of their driveways with a light of some sort to commemorate ANZAC Day. I remember it being a particularly quiet, still day, glorious autumn morning. I was down at what in our town is Harbour Centre, it's our church. It's a little bit different, we've got a pretty grunty sound system. So what I've done is I've got all the RSA together and kept us and has got one of them to record all the names on our Dr. Rod of Honour. Got that, got the New Zealand National Anthem, got the Ode, and got the sound of marching feet. And at 6 o'clock in the morning I was down there with our sound system. I've moved the speakers so they were outside the front door and just played all of that. Really just to honour those who have gone before, and it's an honour to all of our friends and our comrades. Probably shouldn't use that word. I didn't realise, because of how still the day was, how far that sound was going to travel, and people in their homes 4 and 5 kilometres away heard it clearly that morning. As a nation, and get this out the way to begin, as a nation, we must be grateful that we stand on this side of the world. At least for now. Our world standards are so nations. But having said that, we absolutely acknowledge those of this country whom we lost to COVID. We acknowledge Rhodesians in all 4 corners of the world, and I'm sure you all know that, who succumbed to the pandemic. We honour that. In the town that I come from, just across the road from the cenotaph, there is the Burke Mackenzie Reserve, and they've got a garden of remembrance there. We're currently somewhere between 95 and 100 white crosses, each with a name, a rank, and a serial number are found. To quote our local newspaper, they remain in the garden of remembrance for 30 days to remind people of the selfless sacrifice of young men who fought for the freedom of others and didn't come home. We do well to listen to that statement. We must understand that each one of those crosses represents more than a name, a rank, and a serial number. Each one of those represents someone. Each was a father, a brother, a son. Each has a story to tell. I can't tell all of those stories, and I can't tell all of your stories. You'll see that I too am wearing the white cross this morning. Let me share that story with you. Some of you may know that I was in the support unit, otherwise known as Black Boots. Before going there, I was at school with a young guy called Justin. He was tall, very, very tall. Even when I was at school, I was very short. He was so tall that his nickname was Sahara. Miles and miles of nothing. I was really interested in sport. He really didn't care too much for sport. He worked really hard at school. Me, not so much. Please don't tell my mother that. But at the end of it all, we went off to the support unit together. He ended up after basic training in Echo Company and I was in Charlie Company. But we had the same roster, always operational together, always sharing R&R. One day we got back from deployment. Remember, we'd come back from Matapiniland and Echo Company had come back from Leakland. To find that R&R had been cancelled. There had been some trouble in the Chinaquiza area. We were placed on standby to respond in case it was the days of, I think they call them. During the course of that first night we were deployed, and I was on patrol when I received a call to divert to a specific location where some of these dissidents have been seen. Whilst responding to that call, my section came under fire. We had to engage where we were. I remember, as we were dealing with what we had to deal with, I heard on the radio Justin calling out that he would go to my original. I remember he used my nickname on the radio, which, as you all know, was a big no-no in those days. He didn't use my call sign, he used my nickname. He went to where I'd originally been called to while we were dealing with what we did. It wasn't a big scene, and very quickly we were on our way, and I went to assist Justin. I need to find out, which I remember on the way, well, if you're going to call me by my nickname, I'm going to call your nickname on the radio as well, so I also break rules. Told head office told headquarters that I was going to support Sahara. Only when I got on site was I informed that Justin's vehicle had been rammed by a bus as he came on scene, and he'd been killed instantly. It was actually ruled as an accidental death. Not so sure. But his decision to cover my orders cost him his life. That's my white cross. We read in the Bible, for scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet perhaps for a good man someone would even dare to die. The men who are represented by the crosses in my time are the names on the rolls of honor up there and honor rolls of Rhodesian forces all around the world. They all believe that you and I were worth putting their lives on the line for. My good friend Justin believed that what he did was worth it. For thousands of years, the cross has been a symbol of self-sacrifice. Look well on the crosses you see. Every cross represents not just a serviceman, but a family, a friend, a significant part of the community. It's one of the reasons I'm so grateful for the various Facebook pages, obviously, including the Lion and Tusk. Every time we see those rolls of honor, just to read some of the stories behind the men and the women, some of whom we knew, many of whom we didn't. All of them represent a white cross story. Next time you see a cross, you'll find out the story behind it. You want someone, man, woman, young or old, who gave their lives, if not recently, maybe 40, 45 years ago. And let us never forget. Let me close. Lord, we're here today to remember the sacrifice of others on our behalf. We remember with gratefulness and humility